the fact that she's not, your ordinary heart in your sleeve kind of ingenue. She's very different than anything I've ever played. So that was the challenge that I was so excited to accept.
I'm really excited to talk about this show. I'm about 4 episodes in, and I am just engrossed by it so far. What about your character in particular really intrigued you to join the project?
The fact that she's a complex and very troubled, I would say, character. I kind of can't really tell you too much because it's like a spoiler. But yeah, it's the fact that she's not, your ordinary heart in your sleeve kind of ingenue. She's very different than anything I've ever played. So that was the challenge that I was so excited to accept.
So going off of that, then what did you find was the biggest key for you in getting to the heart of her, even if that heart is balanced with so many different threads, let's say?
I would definitely go back to like her childhood and talk with Melanie or Leanne. We go back to the book and discuss what it is about her that happened to her in her life that makes her who she is as an adult. And it's like a core wound or something or an event. And then I would paint in her backstory and figure out what kind of person that I also want to make her, along with everyone else's idea of her. And that there was like a particular thing that happened in her life that kind of hooked me in to empathize with her and, realize her emotional justifications for everything that she does. Yeah.
I love
But I
that.
can't tell you what it is.
No, I don't want the readers to know either. I want them to
Okay.
find out for themselves.
Okay.
So you have such interesting dynamics with everybody in this cast. Obviously, again, without getting into any spoilers, everybody has a different angle with you in this show. What was it like developing those very different dynamics with each actor throughout filming?
It's really fun, actually. Like that's a really fun process. That's like a rehearsal process, not necessarily away from set, but we have 10 minutes before we're about to film something, and like Essie and I will talk about, the dynamic or just or we'll cut and we'll check in with each other, be like, hang on, is that what this is? And open discussions with the directors like Dawn and Chris and Melanie, just constantly talking about, yeah, what it means to do that. And if I do that, what will that do to you? And then what will that do to the show? That was always talked about. And if what's not going to give anything away, kind of thing. That was always discussed with with the individual. Yeah, and then sometimes not. Like I don't think Sam and I discussed it too much, but everyone was very extremely helpful though. Like everyone was like, "What about this?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a gem." Because you can only see yourself in your own bubble. So I think each of them gave me some really cool ideas to work with, to play with. Yeah, so grateful. I hope I gave the same thing.
From what I've seen on screen, you've done a phenomenal job taking in any advice they gave you, or not advice, but ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
So, who would you then say you were the most excited and most maybe nervous about having to play against on screen, given you have so many, big name stars within this cast?
Probably Annette, and because that's the majority of my scenes, basically. So yeah, I was pretty nervous. Yeah, because I'm also a huge fan of hers. So yeah.
So, given that you had so much time with her, what would you say was the biggest keys for you both? Like, what did you both do to sort of break that ice and get to know each other and become friends with one another, or find that friendly rapport that we see on screen?
We had lunch. We met up for lunch, but a lot of it happened on set. There's so much time on set where you're sitting at cast holding in between scenes when they're lighting and everything. So we just let that happen organically. It wasn't forced. But yeah, you as actors, you have so much time on set, you end up being friends by the end of it because yeah, you've had so much time to talk.
Given that the show walks a really interesting tonal balance of comedy and drama, I'm wondering if you ever found yourself breaking during certain scenes where maybe you were supposed to be the one straight faced the entire time.
Happened many times, too many times. But especially with Annette, like she's very funny, Annette, very funny. And she would crack me up so much, and I would definitely have to hold my tongue. But sometimes I can like make you feel at ease too, is like letting that nervous energy go, or at least for me. So it wasn't a bad thing.
It never
At
really
least
is.
for me. I hope it was for her.
Oh, I'm sure she loved it. But that's great. So what is one of trying to avoid spoilers here, but what is one of the big things you're really excited for people to discover about you and this show when it finally gets going?
That not everything is what it seems.
So how hard has it been for you on now that you're doing the press for this to have to bite the tongue? Because obviously some people enjoy getting to hold back. Some people hate having to hold the secrets back. What is it like for you, given you
I hate
hold
it. I hate
so
it.
many of
I
it?
hate it. I've got so much to say. Yeah.
Have you let it slip to anybody thus far, whether it be in your personal life or in the press?
I don't think so.
That's impressive. It's not an
Yeah.
easy thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
totally.
you've made it thus far. So that's awesome. I see I'm pretty much out of time, so I will go ahead and let you go. But thank you so much for taking the time. I truly appreciate it, and I can't wait to spread the word about this show.
Thank you. Thanks so much.